Go for it.
Okay.
One, two, three, go!
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the To Be Read podcast. I'm Julie.
And I'm Vanessa.
And in the words of Jacob Black, a la Twilight, where the hell you been, Loca?
We took a hiatus, and one thing that you can just count on Julie and I to do is when we do things, we whole ass it. We don't half ass, we whole ass. So we jumped into the podcast world, tits a-blazing.
1,000 miles per hour, blazing down the freeway.
And we learned a lot. Oh man, there are sometimes just no words for some experiences.
Yeah, it was a little Bernie outy.
Yeah. And here's the thing that I feel like everyone should take away from Julie and I is our goal is never to get the most followers. Our goal is to have a good time. So we have a new look. So things might look a little differently, but we are excited to be back. I was a little shocked at how many people reached out to us via social media that we didn't know. And we're like, hey, where have you been, Loca? And like, and just like, are you guys coming back? And so that was very sweet. So thank you to those who did that.
Yeah. So basically, you've been working full time, momming full time.
Yes.
I've been momming full time. And we just kind of felt a little like we got to focus on the little ones, the occupations that we have.
Yeah.
You know?
Someone explained it to me once where, any relationship, friendships, love interests, whatever, they're all like bank accounts and you have to put deposits in to make withdrawals. And I think we were both withdrawing from our own cups too much. And like we weren't giving our real lives attention.
Yeah.
But we had so much fun. It was like a roller coaster that you hate. You're just like, I hate this. I love it. I hate it. I love it. Yeah. And there was like the highest of highs. And sometimes I wouldn't even say the lowest of lows, but like sometimes I was like, okay,
I'm so exhausted.
3 hours of sleep. Yeah, it was exhausting. Yeah. So we're going to do it.
We're back.
Our way.
Yes. We're back. We're healthier.
Yeah.
We're going to be more sustainable.
So that might mean only posting 1 to 2 times a month. And we're okay with that. We hope you are.
But here we are. We're still best friends. We're still reading all the time. But we got a lot to talk about. We're going to kind of recap 2025.
Even though it's close to March, by the time you guys see this, it will be March.
Yeah, but we did a lot of reading since the last time we spoke on.
Yes.
So.
I actually went back to Fable because that's my main book tracker nowadays. And I was trying to figure out where we left off. Because you hadn't read Red Rising, you hadn't read a couple of things, which we'll get to today. So yeah, it's like a year, a full year. So
let's start off like what have you been doing? What have you been reading?
What have I been reading? The year 2025, I really embraced mood reading. I was inspired by you because you said you were a mood reader and I was a list reader, and which is the most ironic thing because
we literally talked about it.
Yeah.
We're like, we just put out a whole podcast about how you're a list reader and I'm a mood reader. And now I'm embracing the mood reading. I think there is still a lot of really good things about list reading because at least you get through those lists because I feel like I haven't made a dent. And so it's almost less satisfying in a way. Yeah. But I did try and mood read where it's like, what am I feeling today? The problem with that is I feel like I was more heavily influenced by the socials
or friends or whatever. And so I was a little bit just been like, oh yeah, that sounds good. And whether it was good or not, So yeah. I will say I would love to find a middle ground there. But yeah, I embraced mood readers. 2025, I did a ton of arcs.
Which was another thing that you kind of like flipped on because before I was like, NetGalley, I might get some arcs. And you're like, I don't know. And then suddenly you're like, I have so many arcs I have to read. And I was like,
I don't know if I ever had an opinion on arcs. I mean, I had an opinion on tropes, but arcs, I was just like, I'll just wait for it to come out. And in some ways, that is still really nice. And actually, a lot of the arcs I get are already out, but they were indies going trad. And then that just means you get a free book. And I was going to rate it either way. So it's not and I found some really good things. And then I have found some things that weren't so great. That's another part of arc reading is it's kind of a toss up. So that was kind of what I did. What about you?
So I read a lot of books in 2025. Like for me, it was too much.
Okay.
I read 130 books in 2025.
Averaging out to be how many a week? You divide that by 50 something.
My highest month was May and I read 17 books. And after that month, I was like, I need to slow down. So I've tried to be more intentional about when I'm reading and what I'm spending my time on, because I do have children that need attention. But reading, is just kind of my main hobby. But
I'm kind of imagining, I hate to interrupt, I'm kind of imagining you like on this throne of books and your kids are like, Mom, and you're like, down peasant.
Yeah.
No. I mean, you're such a good mom. That's never what Julie would do. But
I mean, I like to be wherever my kids are, typically with a book in hand.
Okay.
I did stop reading today to play on the ground and play cars with my youngest.
Oh my gosh, that's nice. Well,
my most read genres in 2025 were romance, fantasy, and sci-fi. Because I am in my sci-fi era.
Get it?
I love sci-fi. So 2025 was the year I fell in love with sci-fi. Red Rising, which we're going to talk about. Frankenstein.
Is that considered sci-fi?
No.
Okay.
No. And crocheting.
Oh.
I entered my crochet era, which kind of in turn brought my audiobook era.
I love what do they call them? When you stack habits.
Mm-hmm.
Habit stacking.
That's what it's called. Yes.
I love habit stacking.
So, in 2025, I probably did around 10 audiobooks, which was a lot for me.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean,
not a lot.
I'm thinking
it's a really low percentage, but I really like in the first season of the podcast, I talked about my struggle with audiobooks.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just not an easy thing for me. I've also discovered rereads on audiobooks are fantastic.
Yes.
So I will binge Bridgerton while crocheting, but I will also listen to an audiobook. And that's been fabulous.
Not all three at the same time.
No.
Okay.
I'm just saying, sometimes it shows, sometimes it's an audiobook. It's not always an audiobook. I'm not like a full audiobook girly yet, but
I struggle. I think it just depends on how you learn, because I'm a visual learner, more so even than a tactile learner. But some people are audio learners. So like those are the people who could probably listen to it at like 2.5 speed.
Yeah.
God bless those people.
Another thing I changed is I've been keeping an Excel spreadsheet of my books.
Goodreads wasn't good enough.
I do still do Goodreads and Storygraph, but I like to have my own little record that it's color coded, and that's where I keep track of the books I want to read, the books that are coming out, all of that. And with that, I created a new ranking system for books because I'm done with stars, and we're going to actually talk about that in a future episode, but
yes, I also
stars.
We both kind of created our own, and they're not the same.
No.
So that's interesting.
Yeah. I adapted mine from my previous fan fiction ranking system because you're not supposed to technically rank fanfic, which I think we've talked about, but that's where mine was born. So my favorites are Infinities, then it's A Million, then it's Loved.
Oh, I was kind of
pretty good. And then Nah.
For half a second, I thought it was like currency. You were like 10,000s, 5,000s.
Infinity's the best.
Okay.
Then A Million, Loved, pretty good, and Nah.
Nah.
Not for me.
Not for me. And the reason why we broke up with the star rating, and I wouldn't say we completely broke up with the star rating systems, it's just one person's trash is another man's treasure. And I think it's important to recognize that. Some people read for different things, and it doesn't really make them less smart. It doesn't make them any less worthy of enjoying the reading experience. And so it's hard for us, we talked about this, it's hard for us to yuck someone's yum, or we don't try to anyway. And so, yeah, I think
even with the quality of a book, if you don't like it, it can still be of quality. So you can look at things like its prose or its imagery or the voice that the author uses. Like there's still so much good inside it, even if you didn't maybe resonate with it. Now, there's some books I will poop on Firebird being one of them. But
The Loathing of Firebird. I hope Juliet Cross never sees this. Is that her name, the author? So yeah, The Loathing, because you found that book in 2025.
I sure did. And I broke up with Romantasy because of it. I was like, I have got to take a break from Romantasy. This is too much.
That one had a ton of controversy anyway.
It was a hot thing anyways. But did you want to talk about your ranking system?
Well, mine actually kind of aligned with star rating systems, just kind of in a different way. I have the 5 P's of book rating. And honestly, I stay in fantasy. Always have, really. I very rarely go outside of that realm. But in that realm is a ton of different, almost like subgenres. Like sci-fi is even considered like a subgenre of fantasy. Yeah. Or I don't know. That's a debated fact. Anyway, but there's high fantasy and romantasy and YA and all this stuff. So my 5 P's in my book rating is pacing, plot, premise or world building, prose, and personal purpose, aka character development.
Fabulous.
So I want to say it's easy to remember, but I obviously just read it. So off of my thing. So this is still a very new system to me, but I kind of go through and it's more of like a scale, like prose. Is it more literary? Like Don't Let the Forest In, or is it more casual like Zodiac Academy? Right. So there's different things and it's not like one is better than the other. It's just, this is where it lands on those 5 P's.
Just the 2 books that you picked. There. Those are Forest In, just like flowery, like purple prose.
Yeah.
And Zodiac Academy.
I mean,
has its place.
Yeah, it has its place.
I'm not a hater.
Well, some people don't like the flowery,
really hate
poetic prose.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, you did find a lot of books that had that in it.
That's my jam.
So that's kind of where my book rating system fell. But I mean, I read a lot of different things in fantasy this year. So it was interesting to kind of apply that across the board because I actually read some fanfics, which was not my jam, but I enjoyed the ones I did read. I read Dungeon Crawler Carl. I did a Lord of the Rings reread, which is always just top notch. And then like even a lot of book talk romantasies. Yeah. So like I was all over the place in that genre. I actually read a lot more romances than I ever have. Like I had this, like my whole July was basically Westerns. I was like really into it.
Westerns. Oh yeah. So we're going to delve into some of our favorite reads from 2025. And then we'll talk about kind of like what we're anticipating in 2026 and maybe even some favorites that we've had from 2026 so far.
Love it. Let's do it.
You go first.
Okay. My favorite, I know that the first book didn't come out in 2025, but I think the second book did. And I waited to read this duology until the second book came out. It was Heartless Hunter and Crimson Moth by Kristen Ciccarelli.
Yeah, something like that.
I waited to read it, and that was the correct life choice because it was so bingeable. Well, I know that we both said that, not that we wouldn't read it, but I know that I put it off because I was like, is it really worth the hype? Is it really worth the hype?
Yeah.
And for me, it was. And it is a play on the Scarlet Pimpernel, which isn't super obvious. It's not screaming in your face, but it's like in the background going, hey, I'm here. So I really enjoyed that because that was like my favorite book growing up. So I like super loved it. The premise and the world building was so unique, which is hard to do in fantasy nowadays. Oh my gosh. Fantasy. Yeah. And it did read YA. Gideon is swoon worthy. It's about this witch who hides in plain sight because witches are bad. And there's like witch hunters. And of course, the best friend's brother's a witch hunter. And yeah, we all know how that goes. However, I thought that the world building was what was really unique about this duology. And I really think that there was a lot of research done because it was based off of an island up north somewhere. I can't remember where she said, but it's actually based off of an actual place, like the scenery.
Oh, cool.
So I really liked it, and I felt it was unique, not in a trope way. And you've heard my spiel on tropes, so
it's tropes done well.
Yeah, because they were there.
They were there, but it was done well.
It's a fun time.
Yeah.
I had zero complaints.
Okay, my first book that I want to talk about is The Sword of Kaigan. Literally the first book I read in 2025.
And what a book. Do you remember that episode where we were like, let's save Sword of Kaigan for a Christmas read? And I think we were joking.
Christmas, Year's Depression, and then we literally read it starting
like Christmas, Christmas break.
You
but
finished it before me.
Yes. It was so good.
So when I finished it, I was like, that was really good. But as the time went on through the year, I was like, I love that book so much.
That's a book that stays.
Yes.
Which is hard to do.
It really stuck with me. And I don't know if it was just like the Avatar The Last Airbender magic of it all, or if it was Matsuda Misaki, because she's one of the best mother figures I've ever read in a book. But it was beautiful. And as the Taylor Swift lyric says, like, help, I'm still at the restaurant. Like, I loved that book. And in true, I used to laugh at you for this. I ordered a special edition last year at the end of January, and it still has not shipped.
So 13 months later,
I was
14 months later,
like 2 weeks ago, that they're hoping to ship the first week of March. Fingers crossed.
Yes, I loved that book.
When that book comes, it will go directly onto the God tier shelf, and I'm so excited about it.
Feather dusting it every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Book 2 for you.
Book 2 for me was Dire Bound by Sable Sorensen. And it's becoming more popular for 2 or more, maybe just 2 authors writing under one pet name. Yeah. And I find that
pet name,
author name,
pen
name. I was going to say stage name.
Stage name.
The stage name. Pen name.
Sorensen.
Which is 2 authors. I can't quite recall their actual names right now, but it's what Fourth Wing should have been. And I loved Fourth Wing.
Great. But
I mean, respectfully,
but ...
also disrespectfully.
Seriously.
We love to hate on Fourth Wing, but we loved it. We ate it up. So Dire Bound is a lot like Fourth Wing, but with wolves. Instead of dragons, which I'm a big dragon lover. So the fact that I loved it as much, if not more, what really did it for me was the plot in this book and the FMC, which sometimes I kind of wanted to sucker punch her in the face, but I don't love FMCs that don't live on their own outside of MMCs. Mm-hmm. And Marin really, really lives outside. Like the plot is between Marin and XYZ without going into spoilers here. So, and there's men there and they are big plot points, but it's not the main plot, if that makes sense. So for me, the story really carried through and it had depth and it had yearning and tension. So like my romance heart was still like loving it, but it had a plot to really pull it through. And there was a lot going on.
I loved that one. That was one my buddy read too.
Yes. I am give me a plot with like moderate amounts of romance, like sprinkled in, like seasoning.
It was well balanced, well plotted, and perfectly executed.
Yes. And that is kind of hard to do nowadays, the execution of it all.
Fumbled a lot. I think whether they feel rushed or they just really want to get it out there, or they're really just trying to feed into the tropes and what people want. Execute it very well. But Dire Bound was executed so well.
Yes. This one I heard about through Book Talk, and a lot of times Book Talk can miss, but this time Book Talk didn't miss. I loved it.
Straight back.
What about you?
Okay. My second one, which I also read in January, was Dune by Frank Herbert.
Was that your first time reading it?
Yes.
Oh.
I'm going to sound like such a geek in this episode because the sci-fi is so strong with me in 2025. And
may the force be with you.
Even into 2026. But I loved Dune. And my husband read it in 2024 and loved it. And then I was like, okay, I've got to pick it up. And honestly, watching the movies helped a ton.
Oh, okay.
I'm really glad I did that. But it reaches depths that the movie doesn't dare go into. And I also found an awesome audio of it on YouTube. So I did audio and Kindle.
Okay.
Which is always a good balance. And I'm already planning to reread it this year. Like, it is high sci-fi, but it has so much humanity in it. And I love that.
Have you heard that Tolkien hated that book?
Really?
Yeah. That age-old crisis of should you kill one person to save an entire nation, or should you save that one person type of thing? And Tolkien was just not a big fan of Dune. And now I'd have to find where I read that, but I feel like I've heard
really
that.
Interesting though, because Paul really is so human. Like you think of Frodo as like, he's this small little hobbit, but he's doing these like insane things. And he almost like, of course there's moments where the ring gets to him and he like, you know, he dismisses Sam and all of those things, but like he really carries through.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really see a lot of fault in him. Like he did his best. He did what he set out to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just kind of give him that forgiveness because of the power that the ring had on him.
Yeah.
Paul is out here like seeing prophecies and then doing the exact thing that he was like, I'm not going to do that. And then he goes and does it. And so then you have to like deal with the consequences of it.
Okay.
But I really like the humanity of it.
Is there a lot of inner dialogue?
Not that I remember.
Okay. I was going to say
relationships are so much deeper in that book than they are in the movie.
Okay.
So I love that.
That's nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice. I did watch that movie, the first one, but I don't know. I just wasn't interested enough in it. But I did also see the 80s version, the 90s version.
Which ruined it for you.
Maybe. It's the worm, the Midgard worm. Anyway, so my third book that I want to chat about was Dungeon Crawler Carl, which I know, what a flex. But I mean, it was weird because I don't want to say I picked it up before it got really big, but I mean, there was buzz, but it wasn't what it is right now. Because I read it early in the year.
Yeah, you did.
And it's amazing. And my brothers bullied me into reading it, and they were right for that. I hate it when that happens. That's really the worst part of the whole thing. But I started reading it. It's very video gamey. I'm not super into video games, but I come from a background of video games, or of a techie people who
land of brothers.
A land of brothers, and then my husband, like it's around. So I thought it was very unique. It was so freaking funny. And I think that's why it was just so humorous in a way that I hadn't read before. But like the actual true star of those books is the talking cat, Princess Donut. And I know you're like,
well, no,
okay.
I just have to tell you because Jake came home with a 3D Princess Donut, a 3D
Stop
Princess
it.
Donut, and it's on our bookshelf.
I love Princess Donut. And what I love about her is she is irrevocably herself for a talking cat, right? I mean, and she just loves Carl. I just love it. And it's just really funny. I also want to do a special shout out to Jeff Hayes, who is the audiobook narrator, a one-man band who does all like, I wonder if someone's ever done a count of how many voices he's had to do, because I mean, it's got to be in the hundreds. There's so many of these like kind of side character goblin or like AI things, and he just does it so well. And I watched an interview with him, and he said that he didn't like audiobooks, and so he tried to make it not like an audiobook, and I think that's why it did so well. I actually ended up immersive reading most of that book. So I listened and read.
Wow.
I was dedicated.
Fancy.
So.
All right. Well, my next one is the Red Rising series. If you can remember a time when we were sitting at your kitchen counter and we were doing a little bit of a book swap, and you pushed the books over to me, and I could not look more disinterested.
Yeah.
You're like, series. And I was like, yeah, I just want to go back and reread all the young dudes. But I read Red Rising at the end of 2024. And then
And then your life was changed.
My life. Well, I read Golden Sun and Morning Star back to back in March.
I feel like, I don't know if most watchers know that it's almost unheard of for you to read another one in the series, right? Back to back like that.
I don't do it all the time. So I read them back to back and I was like, I'm in. And I jumped right in and I did Iron Gold. I did Dark Age. I did Lightbringer. And then I started it all over again.
That's how you know. The hyperfixation of it all.
Yes. So then I listened. Well, I reread Red Rising and I was like, first off, that book hits so hard on a second read.
Yes.
Like the first read, I was like, what's going on? Like Hunger Games space. Like, no.
Hunger Games
space.
The
second read is unmatched. Then I listened to Golden Sun and Morning Star, and I've just recently finished listening to Iron Gold, which is my only Infinity ranked book so far this year, because I finished that reread in January.
Okay.
And I will be continuing to reread Dark Age and Lightbringer, and I'm praying that Red God comes soon. I don't, my hopes aren't that high, but like, I love Darrow. Like, maybe my favorite literary character of all time.
He's up there.
He's human and he's fleshed out and he lives in his head and he deals with loneliness, and his little motley cast of supporting characters is just, I love it so much.
We're in a very unique position because I read the first 3 before you did.
Yep.
But I stopped there and I said I will not pick up the next 3 until Red God at least has a date. Yep. And then I'm going to reread the first 3 and then go into the last 3. And it's because of the amount of rereading I was doing at the time.
Yeah.
I'm still holding on to that, but I have them. Like, they're sitting on my shelf just like waiting for me. Yeah. I also immersive read those. So like, I think the audiobook was really good as well.
I did not love Iron Gold my first time through. It's a little confusing, but after my reread in January, I wrote a formal apology letter to Pierce Brown via Storygraph/Goodreads, and that's now an Infinity star.
I'm glad it's getting the recognition it has. However, $10,000 for a marble encased book is just insane.
Am I buying the $100 one? Yep. Already talked to Jake about it. I cannot.
I probably will too. The $100 one I could swing.
$10,000.
Then it's the next one. Who's doing these?
I don't know. They're like handcrafted.
Not like Lit Haven or Moon Escapes or Lit Escalates.
It's not Shit Escalates. That's their actual name.
Really?
Yeah, but they couldn't do SEO.
Oh, okay.
So they're Lit Escalates.
Okay.
I get emails from them twice a week because I'm part of the Patreon.
Ooh. All right. My next pick was the Empire of Shadows series. It's not. I don't think it's a finished series by Jacqueline Benson, and this is like my underdog pick. This is an indie. I think it's indie author who is often marketed as for the fans of The Mummy, and it's very Mummy-esque, but it has enough of like different stuff that it doesn't really read like The Mummy. But if you liked The Mummy, you'll like it, if that makes sense. But what I loved about it is it felt like I was watching a movie, because sometimes I don't want all the inner dialogue. It was like a fluffy fantasy.
You want the imagery.
Trademark.
Yeah.
Can I trademark? I'm going to look into that. Fluffy Fantasies. That actually sounds like a porn name. Never mind. I take it back. But it's really plot heavy with just enough romance. It is very Mummy-esque, the first one, but I think the first one is based like in South America, not in Egypt, and the second one is in Egypt. But like the love in it is really cute. But like I wouldn't say it's deep by any means. It's just fun, a fun time. And it's a very capable heroine. She wants to blow things up constantly, and I think that's endearing.
I just want to blow crap up.
You don't? So that is
So remember that month of May when I read 17 books?
Yeah.
I have Jessa Hastings to blame for that because I read The Conditions of Will, and then I was like, well, and I have to read Magnolia Parks.
Mm-hmm.
And Magnolia Parks is five books.
Yeah.
Hopefully there will be more. I don't know. Now, Jessa Hastings is problematic as fuck. Like, I'm on her subreddits, and it's insane.
Like as an author or just what she writes?
As a person.
Okay.
Like, honestly, who's not problematic, but like she's kind of toxic. Like she like threatens to kill off characters in her books when fans like keep probing her with questions. Granted, like people need to stop asking when books are going to be released and just like realize that it's not in their hands, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, she'll like block people for like threaten to kill characters. Like it's a whole thing. Anyways.
She sounds very interesting.
Magnolia Parks. Haters gonna hate. Like one of my favorite booktubers, Newly Nova, hated the first book. And honestly, most people do because every character is so punchable. Like they all suck in a myriad of ways. And I want to slap them And they just like, it's this constant cycle of just shitty decision after shitty decision. But by the end, you're like, oh my gosh, you're human. And like, you just get to know them. Like it's great character development. Hot Mess Express, Choo Choo. You're gonna want to scream.
Do you want to know what I hear compared to Magnolia Park's Chloe Walsh's books? Didn't she write your favorite? Finding 13 or something like that. What is that? I hear that those two were very alike.
Okay. Yes. But
which you hated.
Magnolia, but Jessa Hastings isn't writing about teenagers. That was my problem with Binding.
Oh, that they were like 14?
Yeah. She was 15 in the first book, and I was like, I don't want to know. Anyways.
I don't want to read about anyone under the age of 21.
Was so entertaining. I read it in 10 days.
Okay.
But Conditions of Will is a god tier book for me. Like, talk about an exploration of characters and like interminglings of family. And it was I had my sister read it. My sister does not read like contemporary fiction that often, but I was like, here, please read this. I love it. And also I read that book twice in May. I read it at the beginning of the month, and then I listened to it at the end of the month.
This was like your year of rereading. It was my year of not rereading, and it was your
20 rereads. Statistically speaking.
That's
out
like
of 130. Yeah.
18%?
7 of 17%? Which was, or 6 of which was Throne of Glass.
Ooh.
So I didn't reread Assassin's Blade or Tower of Dawn, but.
Okay. My next book was a buddy read with you as well.
Yes, it was.
It was Conformed by Ariel Sullivan, and just consider me an Ariel Sullivan fan account now. Oh, I love her writing. I love it. I does she only have the 2 books?
Yeah.
Okay. She writes at a level that I haven't seen in a while. And what I mean by that is there are authors who tell stories, and then there's authors who write stories.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there's a difference. And where I get hung up in a lot of romanticy, especially, I feel like is when people tell me a story. You're like, yeah. And it's not one that you connect to on a base level. It's just one you listen to almost, right? Yeah. Like it's being told at you. And then there's authors who write stories that make you feel. I felt like I lived in that world, which is a dystopian book,
you're
right?
Like dropped in like you're in the pensive in Harry Potter.
Yeah, I'm living it with them. Mm-hmm. And I think that is such refreshing writing. And Ariel Sullivan, give yourself a little pat on the back.
Seriously. Like
I think it's amazing.
The renaissance of dystopian is like my Shayla. Like it's everything to me right now. I don't know. Like, I think the movie industry burned us out of dystopians. Those bastards.
I was gonna say we'll blame Hollywood,
but like we never should have left these beauties behind us. Dystopian should have never gone away, and Ariel Sullivan has made her mark for sure with this book.
Yes, I think another thing that dystopian really had its year in 2025. Just even outside of You and Me, there was a lot of dystopian books that got popularized, but I might attribute some of that to being very politically forward books, like with the turmoil, whether you're for it, against it, whatever, politics are probably hotter than ever. Yeah. And so dystopian books especially really, really touch base on a lot of hot topic issues very subtly, right? It's never like in the same exact circumstance, but there is similarities and parallels that you can find in our everyday world.
Well, and art has always been a form of resistance. Art has always been a way to protest and to fight back. And these authors are, using their words to put their feelings out there and to hopefully kind of ignite some fires under people to think about their own positions. And
yes. And I'm okay if that phase continues. Like if the dystopian continues. In fact, it kind of did.
Train, choo choo.
Choo choo. Yep. So
okay, you covered one of mine too.
Oh,
I have to cover The Women by Kristen Hanna.
Oh, okay.
I'm a crier. I don't know if we know this about me. I cry often and with great passion. And
in books?
In life.
Okay, I was gonna say you and I are the opposites that way because I don't cry in life, but I cry in books.
I can be pretty hard-hearted in books sometimes, but sometimes they hit. And The Women hit. And it was, I don't like historical fiction. that was the only historical fiction I read last year. And I only read it because it was a Vietnam War story and my brother read it and loved it. So I picked it up. It was so good. It just like Vietnam, female perspective in the war and after the war. And then the ending, like I'm more known for like quiet tears while reading or like being choked up. This was like heaving sobs. Just like this book broke me. Like the ending was so unexpected. It hit me so hard in the feels. I just was totally blindsided and I absolutely loved it. Will I read more Kristen Hanna? Probably not, because I don't know if that can be topped. But
I feel like a lot of people say her books are a lot like that, where like they wreck you. That's why I haven't read her. I don't mind historical fiction. It's the fact that
The Nightingale, which is World War II historical fiction, which I absolutely both fists down on the table refuse to ever read again. Like I'm so over, in the words of someone I saw on the internet, World War II fan fiction.
Ooh, yikes.
But that's just me. I don't care for World War II historical fiction because I think it's overdone.
Some honorable mentions for the year for me was Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Wong. Yes. That one, I didn't even know how to process that. That was one that stayed much like sort of Kaigen.
Yeah.
That one stayed with me long after I read it.
Absolutely. M.L. Wong went 2 for 2 for me last year. That was one that we like unintentionally buddy read a lot last year.
Yeah.
Like, there was a moment where I was like, we have not buddy read that much. And then I was like, now that we're talking about it, I'm like, we really did. It was just like
a month later.
I mean, it was like a week or so after. Like they were a little more spread out than like right on top. But like it's still considered a buddy read.
Yeah. If you have someone to talk to about it, it can be a buddy
1,000%.
So.
But Blood Over Brighthaven, it just blew me away because we're tackling hard, heavy topics, kind of like we just discussed with dystopian, but with so much grace and finesse. Like the magic system was so unreal. The world, the people, the issues at hand. Like M.L. Wong is a master crafter at everything that she builds. And if I had all the money in the world, I would buy the Wraithmark Creative version of it. Same version that's doing my Sword of Kaigen copy that has yet to enter my mailbox.
The thing I like about her writing is it is immersive in a way that feels natural, not forced. Yeah. Because sometimes, I hate to say this, when I read Brandon Sanderson, it feels very forced to me. And it's maybe because it's so different, right? Yeah. He has to really expand on that. But this one had very recognizable feature, like recognizable landscapes, but just done differently. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there was something to relate to, whereas Sanderson stuff, there's absolutely nothing to relate to. And so Miss Bourne, come on.
Miss Bourne. I love her.
While I liked those books and stuff, I felt like her writing was more naturally world building.
That's fair.
For me.
Yes, that's fair.
So
I have to give one more like main book.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
Okay.
We covered one of mine, but
okay.
Like I would be so remiss if I did not talk about my top book of 2025, which was Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. There was like a 2-week period where all that I was talking to people about was Frankenstein.
And it was right around the time that the Netflix movie came out, right?
Right around the time the movie came out, because I was so deep in press tour videos on YouTube. And so I was like reading the book and like picturing Jacob Elordi as the creature. And the moment I finished the book, I turned on a movie for my youngest and I crawled in my bed with my phone and my AirPods in and I watched it. I watched like the 2.5-hour movie. But it's so good. And my cousin wrote a review on Goodreads that like so perfectly encapsulates how I feel about this book.
Okay.
She says, "Let me explain something that may seem odd. I have always been fascinated and enamored with the idea of human suffering. I don't know why, but that has just been something that I spend a lot of my time thinking about. Why? How? To what end? Is it a good thing? A bad thing? I believe that Mary Shelley and I may have been of the same mind in this fascination, and I loved her poignant musings." That's exactly how I feel. We know that Julie loves a book about human suffering and the tortured moments of a human being, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's Frankenstein. And I loved it. And I have 3 copies of it. And
when you go in, you go in.
When I go in, I go in. It was so good.
I really like that for you.
Thank you.
I'm not the biggest Lordy fan, so I kind of refuse to watch the movie.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be totally opposed to reading it. So maybe next year or this year, 2026.
Let me know.
So I read that in high school. So a while ago, I can't quite even remember a lot of it. Maybe that was just the time of my life, but
that's how most books are in high school, right?
Like, yeah, you just kind of read it. You don't appreciate it in the way that you should. So maybe I'll read that.
Okay, give me some of your other honorable mentions.
A couple more honorable mentions was the Legends of Thesmar series by Helen Schuer. We're gonna take a shot in the dark on that pronunciation.
A lot of E's and U's.
It's a lot of E's and U's. And that's like Blood and Steel and Vows and Ruins. And as far as the series goes, again, that was just kind of a light read. It had everything I wanted. It was a good time of life for me. I wouldn't say it's like the most poignant thing ever, but I thought it was fun. It was fun. And then I did my Lord of the Rings reread, which, by the way, this is going to sound so funny, but I have a friend and when I went on this journey, they were like, okay, there's like a lot of fan fiction about like Frodo and Sam being gay. And when I was rereading it, I was like, I see it. Like there's a lot of longing between those two. And there's even like a line about being queer. And I was like, yep, I'm actually for that. I'm going to ship those two together. I love it. And Bloodbound by Ellis Hunter, which was an arc. I think it comes out in April or May.
It's on my list.
And I think that is another 2-author pen name.
Cool.
And it reads YA, but you and I both are okay with YA. And it reads YA. So it's like your traditional fantasy, romantasy, maybe. The romance isn't super heavy, but it does touch base on that. But it's actually a really powerful dialogue into female friendship. And I love that. And
female friendship.
If you really liked reading Throne of Glass with like Lysandra and Aelin, and if you liked those bonds that were made, you'll like Bloodbound. But I will say it reads more YA. So go just be cognizant of that going into it.
I'm just going to mention one of my honorable mentions. Well, it's actually 2 books, but I was an Allie Hazelwood hater because Love Hypothesis was so not my jam. And in February of last year, Deep End came out. And I probably walked past that book like 4 or 5 times in Target before I was like, fine, I'll read it. And I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was just like people were like, oh, it's so scandalous. And I was like, I'm a curious kitty cat. I'm going to give it a read. I loved it. And then she put out Problematic Summer Romance in the summer and I loved it. So
it really was just love.
It really was Love Hypothesis. And I haven't read any of your other books, but I loved those 2. And
didn't you read Bride?
I did. Oh my gosh.
How did I forget?
Hey, that's 3 Allie Hazelwoods.
So overall a fan, just didn't love the first one you read.
Yeah.
Which that's hard.
Bride was fun. Bride made me giggle. It was a good time.
Yeah. Sometimes that's all you need though.
I guess I'll also mention because this was like so out of pocket for me. And we'll be talking about how I broke my spice meter in 2025 and like I'm just a changed woman compared to that smut episode we did in 2024. But you put a book on Goodreads called Your Knife, My Heart.
Yeah, that I wanted to read it. Yeah. I still haven't read it yet.
I clicked on it and I was like, dark romance. I'm kind of curious. And then I read both of the books. And the first one was meh, but the second one was like a lot of fun that I even had one of my friends read it. I was like, Bethany, read this book with me, please.
You read a line to me and it was so unhinged.
It was insane. I have said I'm broken at this point. Like
if you want spice, that's a great one to.
If you also like spice, the Hating Game. No, Faking Game. Something like that by Olivia Hale. Brother's Best Friend. So good. But so sorry.
We can't stop recommending books.
Woo! All right. Give me your like ones that you're so excited for.
Okay. Well,
2026.
Books that I'm like feral for in 2026.
Like gnawing at your enclosure.
Okay. The sad thing is I've already read some, like half of these because they came out right in January, most of them. So, actually, no. Okay. Well, Beneath by Ariel Sullivan. This is a prequel to Conform.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not about the same characters. It's just about like the dystopian world before. And that one was an Infinity Star book for me. And so I read the arc of it. So I've already read it, but it does come out around this time that this episode airs. So like, I think March 20th or soon after this episode airs. I don't know when this episode is airing, but that book hit me in the feels. It is also dystopian. And I don't even know what it was about it. Actually, I do know. His name is Levi. And he's not even the main guy, but I love him with my whole heart and soul. And if you ever do anything to hurt my man, I will come for you respectfully and try and convince you out of it. But I loved that book, but I read it probably only about a month ago. So going into 2026, it was like top tier. Like that's what I really, really was excited for. Daggermouth by H.M. Wolf, which I think came out either in December last year or January. I'm not entirely sure. And I read that in January and it was also amazing. Another dystopian. In fact, we're going to go into dystopians later. So I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I loved it and I ate it up. Fury Bound, which is sequel to Dire Bound by Sable Sorensen, comes out in May.
Yes.
I'm super excited. And then actually Half City by Kate Golden, which I just finished like last night. So
we haven't talked about it yet.
No, not yet.
Let me turn off this recording. You're telling me everything. All right. 2026 books that I am gnawing at my enclosure for that you did not mention because Beneath and Fury Bound were also on my list. The Knave and the Moon.
Oh.
Because I loved The Night and the Moth. Mm-hmm. You didn't love that one.
I liked it though.
But you liked it.
Yeah.
But Rachel Gillig.
What's not to like? Really? What's
her writing is so good. Red God, are you there? It's me, Julie.
Hello.
It's me. I'm just like fingers crossed, toes crossed. We're, all the superstitious things, but also
knock on wood.
Take your time because I also need to like gird my emotional loins because I'm going to be destroyed by that book. I just know it. You Did Nothing Wrong by C.G. Drews. C.G. Drews, Don't Let the Forest In, Hazelthorne, making their adult horror debut. And I am becoming a horror girly.
You're like flowery horror, though.
Yeah.
You're purple prose.
It's purple prose horror.
Yes.
Yeah.
Take that how you will.
There can be some gory stuff.
Anyways. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Do you have any like the best books that you've read so far this year? Highlights?
I feel like the ones that I do have, we're going to save for another episode because they're all dystopian books. So, but I will say that I just think that it's coming at a time in everyone's life that dystopian hits a little harder. And
dystopian.
Are we coming to the end of romantasy being popularized?
This is something else we're also going to talk about on an episode.
Yes.
Because I done with romantasy.
Yes. You still do one like In the Veins of Drowning was considered romantasy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like you have a couple here and there like sprinkled in.
Yeah, but I'm not gobbling it up like I was in 2024.
Yeah. The feast was not feasting.
Yeah. And I will never be a hater on where I came from and what I enjoyed. Like time
in the moment you loved it. Yeah.
But
yeah,
we're not so much there anymore.
Listen, I love romantasy done well.
Yep.
And I'm steering a little bit into high fantasy right now, but also if Burn of the Everflame does decide to make an appearance, Pen Cole. She did post like at the end, so I know it's finished and it's in editing. But just know that if that does drop this year, like there's nothing announced, but if it does drop this year, I will be unavailable emotionally, mentally. Big like closed for business sign on my house. That makes me sound like a woman of the night.
Windows and
socially. Basically, I'm going to be a ghost with Wi-Fi and a Kindle. So that's kind of where I'm at. And I am all for authors taking the time they need. So like
absolutely.
Red God, Burn of the Everflame. I've actually held off on rereading that one because I don't want to like reread it so much that I get burnt out of it. Yeah. Burned out of it. But yeah, the minute that gets announced, I'm just going to start that reread because I'm so excited. But also take your time because I respect your time.
I've read some bangers so far this year, so I'm just going to list them off and I'm going to like stare into your eyes and let the sultry dulcet tones of my voice like enter your ear holes and like dig in with their claws into your brain.
We need to play sweet, sweet jazz.
These are the books I've loved so far this year. Like I said earlier, my only Infinity book has been Iron Gold, but these ones I'm about to list have all been 1 million in the Julie rating scale. Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. So good. The Poet Empress by Shen Tao. What a debut. And totally not what I was expecting at all.
And that's a Kindle Unlimited one, yeah?
Yep. And I also am just about tomorrow, I will be the owner of 2 versions of it. So go me. The Poisoned Daughter by Sheila Masterson, also a Kindle Unlimited.
Isn't that a romantasy?
Yeah. Romantasy done well.
Romantasy done well. That's our new caveat.
Yeah. Bat Eater and Other Names for Korzang by Kylie Lee Baker. A horror, and it's amazing.
Ooh.
Absolutely.
This is a fun era.
And then Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel.
You just finished that?
Just finished it. Loved it so much. So that's my list. And it's going to be a good year.
So with our honorable mentions being done, and we're looking forward into the new year.
That we're a sixth of the way.
Through. Listen, we're getting to it when we can. Because no stress.
Yeah.
No stress.
Good vibes.
So going forward, podcast-wise, it's going to be a little bit slower moving than it was. But that's okay because we are living our lives and we're enjoying it. Mm-hmm. And we hope that you guys do too.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun. I'm so happy to be back. And just remember to read, and read some more. And we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Okay.
We did it, bitch. Woo!